Scholastic Audio presents Sweet and Sour by Debbi Michiko Florence. Read by Emily Ota. I kicked my heels against my stump and glared at Zach's empty one. Memories started to play out in front of me like a movie montage. Zach and I had spent many hours over many summers sitting in this clearing. It was where he told me he didn't want to join the baseball team in 6th grade. Where I'd told him I stand BTS and he hadn't made fun of me. I saw my first downy woodpecker while sitting here with him 3 years ago, and I danced to many a song with Zach as my audience of one. In the safety of the dark, in what used to be my favorite place in the world, I risked opening my heart just the slightest sliver and allowed myself to remember how strange it felt not getting on a flight last July. Good thing I'd had Lila by then, but something had been missing. That first week of July, a big box had arrived in the mail. It was addressed to Mom, but I'd recognized the handwriting and saw the return address label from Holly. Even though I had been so angry at Zach for the last year, now that we were apart for the first summer ever, I kinda sorta missed him. That evening, as a family, we opened that box. Mom pulled out a note addressed from Holly and read it with a smile on her face. They emailed and video chatted regularly, but a real letter was nice. Holly wanted to do our traditional gift exchange even though we couldn't be together. Mom passed out the gifts to me and Dad. Japanese snacks and an adorable realistic plush rabbit for me. After we were done, I stuck my head in the box, searching for the apology note from Zach that Mom must have missed. But there was nothing else in there. "My," Mom had said, "don't be so sad. I know it's not the same as being together, but this is the next best thing." As usual, Mom couldn't cope with me being upset. It wasn't the next best thing, but Mom might be onto something. Bad feelings were a waste of time, and so was a friendship with Zach. I had missed him, but not anymore. He had been my very best friend for my whole life, until he wasn't. And the longer we went without talking, the truer that became. I blinked myself back to the present. I couldn't stand the thought of losing Lila the same way. I didn't know if we were okay. I was scared that a summer apart would change us, would change our friendship the way it had changed mine and Zach's. If he and I had had our summer together, would it have been easier to talk to him about what I'd heard? I'd never know. What I did know was I couldn't lose another best friend. Slowly, the tears came. The weight of my sadness and loneliness pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe. I hated feeling this kind of pain, the kind that twisted and squeezed in my chest. When you got a cut, you might bleed, but the pain faded quickly. You stuck a Band-Aid on, and it healed. This kind of pain never healed. It ached and throbbed, and no matter how hard I tried to bury it, it flared up at unexpected times. And it hurt. I muffled my sobs with my hands and willed myself to stop. When I finally lifted my head, night had fallen. The stars blazed in the sky, reminding me of the fireworks I had seen with Lila, and fresh tears pooled in my eyes. Finally, I scrubbed at my face, forcing myself to calm down. I used the hem of my shirt to wipe my eyes and nose, then stood and took a deep, steadying breath. I needed to make it back to my room without anyone seeing me, especially my parents. They couldn't handle sadness any better than I could. I'd take a long shower and go to sleep. And I wouldn't look at my phone for text messages from Lila. My heart couldn't take any more rejection. If only I could wave a magic wand and make everything better. Zach would have never betrayed me. Lila wouldn't be upset with me. This would be the best summer of my life, but I'd still be looking forward to my life back home. I stared at my feet. Maybe all wasn't lost. Lila seemed to think somehow things could get better if I let them. I wanted to believe her. I just needed a sign, one that would give me hope. I glanced back up at the stars one more time and froze. Something white flew right over my head, so close I could almost reach up and touch it. It didn't make any noise as it swooped past me, its wings spread in silent flight. It was the barn owl. It was hope.